Okay, everyone, we will call, oh, we've got some background noise. Your vehicle or in your vehicles. Don't, I guess I'm used to driving. Have we solved the feedback? We have. I believe we have. So good evening, everyone. I'll call this meeting to order at 6:31, and we will begin the meeting with O Canada. Please rise. Okay, we will begin this meeting by asking for any declaration of interest. If anybody has an interest to declare, please do so now. Seeing none, we'll move forward with number 4 on the agenda, which is the consent agenda for adoption and receipt of minutes, moved by Councillor Maybe, seconded by Councillor Foti, that November 8th, 2021 public and council, and the November 18th, 2021 special, and the December 6, 2021 public and committee of the whole meeting minutes be adopted as circulated, and that the October 26, 2021 committee of adjustment meeting minutes be received and filed. Any errors or omissions, questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed, and we are carried. Next on the agenda, motion comes forward from Councillor Jameson, seconded by Councillor Maybe, that the council approve staff reports as recommended at the December 6th, 2021 committee of the whole meeting. Are there any additional questions or queries in regards to the staff reports that are on the list this evening? Go ahead, Councillor Maybe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you, the very last one, SR 14621. I know we last week talked about maybe some more information, but just wondering, is that slated for a later date? Thank you.
That one, go ahead, Madam Planner.
Thank you, through your worship. All of the public information that was received has been forwarded to the applicant. It was also forwarded to council last week. I have requested an updated written submission to address all of the public comments. Once that's received, then staff will prepare an updated report for council consideration. So at this point, I don't have a timeline for bringing that forward.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments or questions in regards to the staff reports in front of us today? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed, and we're carried. On to information items. Motion is put forward by Councillor Foti, seconded by Councillor Maybe, that the information items be received and filed. Are there any of the information items that anybody would like to pull or discuss? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed, and it's carried. Thank you. Okay. So any unfinished business? Seeing no unfinished business, I'll move on to action required items. Moved by Counselor Foti, seconded by Counselor Maybe, that council directs staff to proceed with the advertising for new Economic Development Committee members to allow for a membership of up to 7 members as established in the terms of reference for the committee. Discussion on this motion? Go ahead, Counselor Maybe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And my question is with the economic development, since we've opted out of the St. Lawrence Economic Development, what is our strategy moving forward? And I'm not sure whether I've actually heard that or whether there's something coming down the pipe for that. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Thank you, through you. The budget for 2022 was structured around the strategic direction that the Economic Development Committee had identified that was approved by council. So focus on the core, agriculture, hospitality, and maintaining what our current businesses are. So we did structure the budget based on that and have a work plan going forward that relates directly to those strategic directions. There's a number of different incentives I believe it was all outlined in the budget document. I don't recall them all off the top of my head right now, but there were a number of different priority areas. So we still have much work to do, and we have a plan to do it.
Any further discussion? I'll just make the point of saying that we're really hoping that some of our newer entrepreneurs will step forward and step up to be part of this committee so that we can perhaps have a bit more of a direct link to business owners locally. Our committee is made up of many currently working and retirees. So I think it's imperative that we try to encourage some of our local business owners to step forward and perhaps put their name forward to give a very good, very necessary perspective to the committee as well. So if you know of anybody who fits that profile, please have them, encourage them to fill out the application and submit to the clerk by the time it's required. Any further comments or questions? Call the question. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed, and carried. Okay, mayor's update. It's pretty short this week. So the motion that comes forward is from Councillor Jameson and seconded by Councillor Maybe, that council approve the amendment to the 2022 schedule of meetings to combine the January 4th, 2021 Committee of the Whole meeting and the January 10th, 2021 council meeting into one session to be held on January 17th, 2021 at 6:30. Just to provide some background on this and the reason for the request, a couple of reasons. One, over the Christmas holidays, it's difficult to push those reports forward to make sure that they meet the cutoff so that the clerk can have them posted for review by the public and by council. Also, a number of our staff members are also taking holidays over the Christmas holidays. So we will be open and we will be staffed here, but there will be some people taking some much deserved and necessary time off. So this just gives an extra week to get back and get those reports in and make sure that we have a full council agenda for that time frame. Is there any comments or questions in regards to that? Councillor Grell?
Thank you, through you, Your Worship. Procedurally, are we okay with combining a committee of the whole and a council meeting, given the nature of what a committee of the whole is? Are we okay with that procedurally?
Yep, thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Procedurally, if council passes that this evening with the majority of council, then that overrides what's in the procedural bylaw.
I think you're asking in regards to having the committee of the whole and the council in the same night to not have the sober second thought, so to speak. Is that what you're?
Yes, just to guarantee, that the public has their right to participation. And I would assume that we would be under no obligation to be voting necessarily on something that was put in before us in such short notice. That's so that the public has time to input.
So maybe, do you want to answer that? I'll let the clerk go.
Yep. So, and I think that was and maybe he can speak to the CAO's intention of bringing it this early is so that public have ample notice that we will be combining the two. And then if they want to tune in, they can certainly do that on January 17th.
If I could add to that, there's a number of councils that actually do this. This is their regular procedure. In the event there is something contentious on the January 17th agenda that we don't feel comfortable passing, that we want to have further consideration or gather more information, we can absolutely postpone it, and it doesn't need to be decided on the same night. If there is something that is uncomfortable or you require more thought, it just is up to council to put forward a deferral to the next meeting. That's all. Would that satisfy you?
Certainly, because I see that the next meetings would be, of course, in February, which would only be a
Couple weeks.
short couple of weeks away anyway. So it would be not to stretch. Thank you very much.
Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Fody.
Thank you, Your Worship, through you. Just clarification along Councillor Grell's line of questioning. So the public can engage that night, I assume?
Correct. And committee of the whole. So the first part of the meeting would be open for comment and input. Like this evening, we have 2 attendees. This is council. We don't generally have input coming in on council, but we adjourn the committee of the whole meeting and begin council. So they're 2 separate entities. We're just having them on the same night.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Follow up if I may. So I think you pretty much answered my next question. It's a segregated meeting.
Correct.
Combined. Thank you.
Correct. Any further comments or questions? I will call the question. All those in favor? All those opposed? And it's carried. So the notice will be posted online that our January meetings will be combined and moved to the 17th of January. Just a quick note to that, I'm still under the mayor's update. So this would make the official last meeting of the clerk tonight. So unfortunately, she has vacation she'd like to use, strangely enough. So she, I believe your last day is the 11th of January.
Yeah. Physically, the 11th of January, formally the 21st.
So with that, I will say thank you. And as I'm sure I'm echoing the comments of the group around the table for all your efforts, for stepping in. Are we in trouble? Oh, fire call. I apologize. There you go. We got the fire trucks out for you. Just to say thank you for your continued efforts, and we wish you all the best in Westport. They're lucky to have you, and we know that you're not far away, and you still have to drive past this building on a number of occasions. So we might reel you in if we need you. So thank you very much. All the best. As far as other things that are going on, I'm sure that everybody's watching the news closely. I know the numbers are rising, the cases are rising. We just ask that everybody be as vigilant as possible and continuing to socially distance and limit your social circles if possible. We don't want to see anybody sick over the holidays. I know that Kingston and our own health unit are starting to see a sharp rise in cases. So we do hope that everybody makes it through this holiday season happy and healthy. We want our staff to be happy and healthy and enjoy the season as much as possible. And hopefully not have a windstorm like we did Saturday night. So that'll be my last comment under the mayor's update. Thank you to our fire staff as well as our operations staff who stepped up on Saturday night. We know that it was an extreme weather event. There was lots of trees down, lots of different water challenges in different places. But all the calls were answered, and our staff were there to move things quickly as possible and let roads be passable again. And the fire department were there to answer a number of calls as well. So we know it was a busy night. So thank you to all the staff members. And I think that's all I have to say under the mayor's update, other than Merry Christmas and all the best to everybody. But I'm sure we can do that at the end of the meeting as well. Any notices of motion? Notices of motion? None. We'll go forward with announcements. Anybody have an announcement? I know you have an announcement, Counselor. Maybe you have something. You always do.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As always, again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all. One, the residents in our township, two, our staff, and great staff at that, and council. It's great to be here and working with you all. So we hope that you have the blessings of the season with you and yours, and may Christmas be a bright spot in this 2021. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Go ahead, Counselor Fody.
Thank you, Your Worship. More of an observation after Saturday night's windstorm. There's still a lot of limbs, large branches that have not hit the ground. The potential is there. So I know a lot of people are out working on their properties and cleaning them up. We have a lot of trails, walking trails, hiking trails, if you will. To those that are volunteering to clean them up, take a look up before you take a look down. There's a lot of large trees and limbs that are leaning, just beckoning to come down at some point, and you have to be cognizant of that. And that's just all I want to say. I don't want to see anybody get hurt trying to do the right thing on a cleanup because they didn't look up first. Thank you.
Thank you for that very sage reminder. I met a fire truck on my road on Saturday night just for that very reason. I think that there was a limb down against a live wire, and so they didn't want anybody messing with that until Hydro got there. So that was one of the many calls that the fire department had to answer to on Friday night, or Saturday night, I should say. Any further announcements? I'm going to take the liberty of the chair, and I'm going to move up the bylaws that are happening after the in-camera report. We do have a couple of attendees, so I want to make sure that we get those passed. So the only thing that we've done is split out the confirmatory bylaw, which we'll do at the very end once we come back out of in-camera. I just didn't want to have the attendees having to waiting to hear with bated breath to have to log back in after our in-camera meeting. So with that, the motion comes forward by Councillor Lackey and seconded by Councillor Oakey that 3 readings and final passage be granted to bylaw number 21-067, 21-068, 21-070, 21-071, 21-072, and 21-073. Is there any comments, questions, queries on the bylaws that are about to be passed? So the list with all the names attached to them are on your agenda, just in case you needed a refresher. I know they're just numbers in the motion. Seeing none, I will call that question. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed, and those bylaws are carried. So now we will have a motion to move in camera. So the motion comes forward with Councillor Fody, seconded by Councillor Jameson, that council adjourn to form an in-camera session to consider advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, and a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. Any comments, questions, queries about the motion that is in front of us? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed, and we will be in camera. So thank you for joining us. Those who are watching the live stream, we will come back on after the in-camera session, but it will likely to report out and have the confirmatory